Premier Daniel Andrews has confirmed Victoria's sixth lockdown will be extended past Thursday, but it is too early to say which settings will be in place and how long the restrictions will last. Victoria recorded 92 new locally acquired cases of COVID-19 on Saturday. Reporter Margaret Paul joins us with more. Margaret, what do we know about these latest cases?
Good afternoon, Emma. Yes, so those 92 new cases, that's the highest number that Victoria has recorded since September last year. Now, we know 63 of those have been linked to known outbreaks, and authorities are still trying to chase down those last remaining ones. 19 of those cases were fully quarantining during their infectious period, but authorities expect to be able to say more about that during the afternoon. Now, importantly, about 2/3 of those new cases are in Melbourne's north and west, where authorities have been quite concerned in recent days about chains of transmission and that really getting away from them there. So much so that today's press conference, which is normally held somewhere in the city of Melbourne, in the CBD, was held out in Footscray in Melbourne's west at Whitten Oval, the home of the Western Bulldogs, with a number of community leaders there who were eager to talk to their community in the north and the west about following the rules, getting tested nice and early and those kinds of things. So those numbers, as you say, unfortunately 92 new cases means that Victoria won't be coming out of lockdown on Thursday. That lockdown that was announced was initially meant to lift on Thursday, but I think Victorians who have been paying attention to the numbers over the past few days probably won't be too surprised to hear that lockdown won't be lifting on Thursday, but no news yet as to what the restrictions will look like beyond that point. The Premier Daniel Andrews says he'll have more to say about that during the week.
And what has the Premier said about the state's vaccination program?
So he's continued to say that the vaccines are the way out and encouraged people to get vaccinated. Yesterday, the state-run hubs here in Victoria saw more than 30,000 people vaccinated. So that's a really strong number. And the Premier said hesitancy is not the problem in Victoria, and he's continuing to have talks with the Prime Minister about supply, particularly of the Pfizer vaccine, which was opened up for younger people again during the week in Victoria. And the Premier said he was actually delighted to see the systems crashing, because what that means is people in Victoria do want to get vaccinated. Now, interestingly, he said he had a chat to the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, yesterday about supply of Pfizer, and said that he spoke to him particularly about the last round of vaccine, of the Pfizer vaccine, and the way it was divvied up between the states. Now, we saw more going to Sydney, as we all know the position that they're in, and Mr Andrews said he was assured that that won't happen again. Let's hear from the Premier, Daniel Andrews.
We are now in a set of rules here in Victoria with case numbers too high to be able to safely open up, and that means that we have many challenges as well. And it's only fair that we distribute vaccines based on the population share and need, of course. Well, we can't continue to see hundreds of thousands of extra doses pouring into Sydney at the expense of every other part of our nation. We've done that. That was the right thing to do, but there has to be a limit to that, and I'm very pleased that the Prime Minister has confirmed that that won't be the case when it comes to the next allocation of any vaccines that come here earlier than planned, and or even those that are scheduled to come in September, October and indeed beyond that.
So obviously a focus on the vaccines as the way out, but for Victorians, a really hard news, I guess, that the lockdown will continue. The Premier acknowledged today it is really tough in Victoria, the restrictions that we're living under and will continue to live under beyond Thursday. But he really stressed, and authorities have been stressing for a while now, that he really wants to see people get tested as soon as they experience those symptoms of coronavirus. Don't put off getting a test. If you feel symptoms, go and get tested as soon as possible. That's the message.